Hey guys, welcome to the Photo Business Success Podcast. I'm Morgan and I'm here with Megan. Today we are going to talk about hub pages and how we use them in our business and like what they look like, how we've built them, and how they've helped our business grow. So, Megan, do you want to kick it off? I can start.
Sorry, I was getting a FaceTime call.
Oh,
Uh,
you're good.
yeah. So sorry, hold on. Actually, I would love, Morgan, why don't you tell us what a hub page is?
So a hub page is basically an SEO heavy, like not a hidden, an unlinked page on your website that's geared towards either a specific location, venue, things like that. We specifically use them for venues in order to rank better on Google for these specific venues in our area or an area we want to shoot in. And so we use them to link out to weddings we've shot there, other vendors we've worked with, basically anything we can do, make it a resource for brides who are thinking about getting married at this venue. And if they found it on our website, they're probably going to reach out to us to shoot at that venue. So that's the basic overview of hub pages.
So by the way, I have used them as linked resources as well. So not always unlinked, but typically unlinked is right. And then, I think about this is like, it's a great thing to run ads to as well. So
Yeah,
it's something that like you want to be found by SEO, like you mentioned. It's SEO heavy, but it's also like there are other ways to get it in front of people.
absolutely. Yeah, it's not just SEO, but we also use it as like a resource to share with couples who are like thinking about venues or like certain venues. If they're like, yeah, like we're looking at like, let's just say like Riverwood Mansion. I'll like, be like, oh, we love Riverwood. Let me send over like some information about it. And we give like all the information we could possibly give about it. So they don't have to go anywhere else. And then they see us as experts on that venue.
So tell us about a podcast. Tell us about a hub page win that you've had, Morgan.
Yeah, so we have had people find us from actually, this was a recent one. We shot an engagement session at Evans Mill out in Smithville, Tennessee, and did a hub page on that. And we just got booked for a proposal and engagement session there because they found us through when they searched for Evans Mill, we popped up for it. So that was a big win for us that one worked well.
Do you have to have shot in a specific location or venue in order to build a hub page for it?
No. So one thing we have done that's worked really well is and this is like all about networking too, is going and, if you could offer a venue like photos of their space, things like that, in order to that way you have a photo to use in your hub page. That's a great way to do it, or go to just tour a venue. But you technically don't have to even do that. You can just write a hub page about a venue, whether you've been there or not, in order to get booked there. But the more you're able to talk about the venue and act like you know everything about it, the better. And the great thing is, ChatGPT makes this really easy to do now to get all of this information that you can need.
So I want to highlight two ways that I've used hub pages just because I feel like it is a good way to demonstrate the power of them. So when I was in California, I kind of was in between Orange County and the Inland Empire. The Inland Empire is usually not known for being like super nice weddings, although there are many incredible venues there, including the entire Temecula wine country area. So it's sort of a like not misnomer, misconception, but I was I really wanted to start shooting Santa Barbara weddings. And I had second shot in Santa Barbara, but I hadn't shot my own weddings in Santa Barbara. And so I ended up just using a close-up picture of a couple in anywhere else. I can't even remember what couple I used, and other couples as well. And so like it literally none of the pictures that I used were from Santa Barbara, except I might have had some like bougainvillea and like other photos that felt like Santa Barbara. They probably were actual Santa Barbara, but not even wedding related. And so that was a really good, I booked my first Santa Barbara wedding with that page. It was really well SEO'd. But then my big SEO win was that I actually was number one, ranked number one in on Google for a particular venue, to the point where couples would find my hub page before they would find the actual venue website. And so I would link to the, like, here's how you book. And that was, it was sort of a little bit different of a situation, but so I didn't really get any credit or anything for it. And they didn't have a preferred vendor list, but still, like, I was getting a flood of inquiries. I would get probably, I know I've mentioned to you, Morgan, that I was averaging 17 inquiries a week from SEO, and probably 8 to 10 of those were coming for this one venue. It was a very popular venue, always booked out, like literally 4 to 5 days a week. And I loved shooting there. I loved the kind of couples who were attracted to that venue. I knew it was a venue that I wanted to be all in on. And SEOing that, making that, and maintaining that particular hub page was probably one of the best things I ever did for my business. And it was easy. And by the way, one of the coolest things about hub pages is, like, you can use the same template over and over. You just have to, like, you change the photos, you change the copy, you can add sections or remove sections, but it's like really easy to just have a template that you use over and over and over again.
So, a couple of things that I wanted to touch on with this. I wanted to talk about what we mean by unlinked pages, because this is like a common question I get when talking about hub pages. So, Megan, do you want to talk about that real quick?
Sure. So a lot of times we have like a menu bar, and, you know, like maybe you have one gallery, or you have specific couple galleries or whatever. Maybe you have, like, blog posts, and essentially these are pages that are easy to find. They're linked somewhere on your website in some form or fashion. An
And it's its own
unlinked
page.
as its own page.
It's
Correct.
not a blog, it's a page.
Right. But even blog posts are their own pages. And that's great. We want those. That's really good SEO juice. But a hub page is not found in your, I'm sorry, not, you can have your, like I said, you can have your hub page linked, but an unlinked page is just not listed in your menu bar, in any drop down. It's not linked to. You can link these in your website footer. That is, depending on your website, can be really good for SEO. But in general, the whole thing about this is it's not necessarily findable. It's not meant to be, it's more of a landing page that squeezes people into inquiring with you. They used to call them squeeze pages. And the whole point was just to get that inquiry, capture that couple's information more than telling them, giving them information about you. So in fact, a lot of times in a hub page, you won't even have a menu bar, because you're not trying to give them information about you. You're just trying to get, it's like a little bit lower intent, but higher volume, generally speaking, as far as inquiries go.
The other thing I wanted to talk about is different ways to build out a page, because I have found a great resource for building them that makes it very easy to use.
Tell us
Um,
more.
so I've been using Content at Scale to write my hub pages, and it scores everything for you. And like, so basically, let me back up. Content at Scale is an AI software that is it's not detectable to Google that it's AI, so it helps you rank better than if you were to use like ChatGPT. And basically how you do these is you give it a keyword and it spits out a page about that, with it knowing that it's about your website. And so I've been using this to write hub pages for different venues that I want to shoot at or want to shoot more at. And it gives me everything I need for a hub page, like all of, how much it costs, how many people can, be at the wedding, their preferred vendors, things like that. It gives me all of that information without me having to do any work other than telling it what the keyword I want it to be is, which is just the venue name. So that has been really great. And I've been able, it's been very effective as well. We've seen a large increase in our inquiries just from using this. Obviously, it's not a one and done thing. You're going to have to continually update and make sure that you're putting in images that have alt text that are, are good for SEO, things like that. And it usually gives you ways to improve the SEO on it as well. And it will also check you as you're seeing improve, like as you're doing things in the typed, hub page. You can make changes and it'll update live as you're doing these things to let you know if it's improving. Kind of like Yoast, if you've used Yoast before, it's very similar to that, but it works really well and I highly recommend it. I'll also include a link to a discount code for Content at Scale if you guys want to check it out. Like I said, they're not a sponsor for us or anything like that. I just really love using them. So I wanted to throw that out there because we have enough things to do in our business. And so if I can help you save time, I'm going to, because I don't want to gatekeep that. So
I want to real quick talk about, I think, a great use of hub pages from a mutual friend of ours, Jason Vincent. If you guys don't know, Jason Vincent, the incredible, illustrious, one of a kind Jason Vincent, probably one of the greatest artists of our time.
by the way, Jason has no idea we're talking about him right now.
Yeah, I don't think he knows that we're both like completely obsessed with his photography at
I
all.
don't think so either.
And also, by the way, one of the most wonderful human beings you will ever meet in your life. So kind and generous and down to earth, like totally like, yeah. Anyway, I like love him. I love his wife, Chasney. They're incredible and based close to us in Arkansas. So you're ever thinking about getting married, period, actually, because he travels everywhere, you should look them up. Are they Vincent Image? Yeah, I think Vincent Images. Anyway, so Jason Vincent, this was a while ago actually, because I remember I was working with him on this before I moved. So this would have been like 2018, 2019 that he was building out this incredible. And I actually think he got this idea from Ben Hartley now that I think about it. But Jason built out a like top 20 venues in their area. And so the page itself has a summary of each venue, a link to each venue's hub page, and each hub page has photos that they've done in those venues. It has, like what Morgan was talking about, pricing information, all the information that you would find on, like even like The Knot, or like what are those other, those
Wedding
other,
Wire, Zola.
yeah, all of those. And like, to be honest, as someone who has looked at venues, I I wish more photographers did this, because photographers know better than The Knot, Wedding Wire, whatever. Sometimes you see like $3 signs and then like you go look at the page and it's like actually should have been like $8 signs. I know that's not even a thing, but you're like, "Oh wow, I could never afford to rent this venue, like even if I sold all of my internal organs." Like there, but then like also sometimes you're like, oh, it's a $5 dollar sign venue, and you look at the pictures and you're like, this looks like a $1 sign venue. So anyway, I like love what Jason has done. I assume that they haven't changed their website because it's working for them. I think I did look at it maybe like a year ago for something and it was still the same. So hopefully still up to date. But yeah, that's a great example of how to use linked hub pages. And then the thing that I wanted to add about him specifically is every page has a call to action of like inquire with this venue, and then he personally, or maybe it's Chasney, I don't know, they personally pass that lead on to their contact at the venue, which gets them amazing goodwill. So yeah,
Yeah,
like they are doing it right.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, linking, having like the top venues, that's fantastic. And it's just more backlinking and more internal linking that helps
Mhm.
with your SEO. So highly recommend it. If you guys aren't doing hub pages already, I highly recommend it. And it doesn't just have to be for wedding venues. If you're not a wedding photographer, it doesn't have to be like just for
Right.
that. If you're a portrait
Oh,
photographer.
I forgot. I was going to mention this, but I used a hub page. So I was on vacation in Hawaii, on the island of Kauai. I quickly built a portrait hub page. I ran like $20 of ads to it, and this was in 2017 probably. And I got 3 portrait clients, one per day that I had open basically, each I think paying like 600 plus, artwork. And that like and then like that obviously expands your portfolio, and now you can show that like you've shot in that location. I've had coaching clients who've done this when they've gone on vacation or when they've shot a wedding somewhere. It's a great way to get like engaged couples. It is such an incredible method. In fact, like we probably should have included it in wedding multiplier toolkit. Maybe we'll add it at
We
some
can add
point,
that.
or yeah, we'll have like maybe it'll be like its own thing because it does have a little more complexity and we would need to go into more detail. So yeah, maybe that. But yeah, hub pages it's not for just a venue, it's not for just the city, it's not for just weddings, it's not for just portraits. It's like the way that you can use this, I think everyone can get creative with it. It's just a
Mhm.
matter of like the way that you decide to use it. Like you could do it, for if you're a family photographer who's never done newborns before, you could do it for newborns. Like
Yeah.
if you are a wedding photographer who's decided to get into seniors, like you could start doing it for seniors. You could do it. Oh my gosh, Morgan. You could do one hub page for each high school. Oh my gosh, that's so genius.
Yeah, I
Or
was
like
gonna say for
university.
universities. That
Yeah.
was going to be my next. I was like, maybe I should start doing this for Vandy and
Yeah.
Belmont since I have all my ins there and use that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way to do it. And I was also thinking of doing it for like bridal shops too, because
Mhm.
for some reason it seems like the first thing every bride does is go buy a dress, which is not the order you should be doing it in.
As the girl who bought the dress before she was
Or
engaged,
yeah, I know you.
like
Uh-huh.
but you know what? But I built my whole wedding around, like I loved my dress and I built my whole wedding
Yeah.
around it. So I don't
But
regret it.
anyways, that's a great way to like link back to you
Yeah.
because, they see like, maybe you do like the top 5 bridal shops in Nashville or, whatever city, and then you do a hub page for each of those. Like, I think that's like a great way to do it. And I'm now adding to the list of things I need to do.
Emily, you do better than anybody I know.
Well, we'll see about that. I really need a
Okay,
nap.
Morgan's tired.
Well, perfect. Anything else you want to add before we sign off?
No. So let's see here. Guys, I think we mentioned content at scale. As Morgan mentioned, we will include a discount code for that so that you can, by the way, like it's one of those things that it can be a little bit pricey or it can look pricey, but if you are invested in doing SEO and building SEO for your site, that's not the stage that everyone is at. But if that is the stage that you're at, or if that's something that you're ready to go all in on, content at scale is pretty much the best. Yeah.
Can I say something quick about content at scale too? Okay.
Yeah.
So when I know we're signing off, but I wanted to throw this in. Content at scale, you get like a certain number of, they're called rank well blogs per month, but also they have an AI called Amy that I've used to write other blogs that are like not like great for SEO, but they're great informational blogs to like share with couples or clients, whatever, that there's no limit on. So I just wanted to throw that out there when you're considering the pricing, that it's not just your rank well blogs, that there's also like other features in there that you can use.
That's really good to know. Thanks. So
Mhm.
yeah, we will link to that. Go ahead and check it out. Don't sign up for it unless you are truly ready to start building your SEO. We mentioned the wedding multiplier toolkit, which we will link to in the show notes. This is actually the first thing that we built together is wedding multiplier toolkit. It teaches you how to book more weddings from the weddings that you already have. So go ahead and check that out. Also in the show notes, if you are a photographer who is success minded and you would like to be in a community of other people who are like you, we would love for you to join our Facebook community. So we'll link that in the show notes. You know what? If we can, we'll even link Jason Vinson in the show notes because that dude is awesome and we just love him and Chasney. And lastly, guys, if you liked this episode, if this was good, helpful to you in any way, please like, subscribe, review, like rate, review, wherever you're listening. It helps us so much.
Watching.
And
If you're
comment if you're watching on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. So it just helps us so much. And we are so appreciative that y'all are listening. Thank you so much. And we will be back next week.
bye guys.